Hello guys, I just saw this video dropped 3 hours ago, and it's a long one, I'm sorry, but I'm going to try my best not to pause it. I do not like this person, and I saw it on Destiny's channel. I will link it in the description. Sorry that it's another react channel, or react video, but, good thing we got, I gotta make sure this is the right scene, yeah. We got it as we got a new game. I'm stupid. I'm being stupid. We got a new game. You guys can look at a new background for once. But this woman has said stupid things, and obviously done stupid things. But I mean, you can obviously recover from it. We can come back from it, but God, do I not want this person to come back from it. She has said horrible things. I was poor when I was growing up. I don't want to get into that, but because I think I'm doing pretty good right now. You know, I've done a lot of things to come up from that, and I'm gonna do another video talking about that too today. Yeah, let's just jump right into it.
Publicly
Let's see if
said
she's
that
bullshitting.
I diverged from Mr. Girl's feelings about everything. I've publicly said this I don't know how many times now. I really don't even have anything against you besides the fact that I just don't want to be...
Cool. So Mr. Girl's article is going to come out, and I was going to say I was incredibly abusive and coercive towards Lav because this is like one of his 2 star witnesses, and then somehow she's going to get behind it and try to like square it away with what she's saying now. But at least it's public here now, so whatever. I'm good on that.
Wait, Steven. There's no like. I'm not making a public statement. There's nothing I've said, or there was no accusations of me in the thing. It is literally I just gave Max our logs, and he had access to all of the live streams. That is literally it. There is no like, I'm not painting a narrative. I am.
You were painting a narrative.
Harvey Weinstein, you say I'm sexually abusive and coercive to women. You say that all these fucking people, you're leaking details about everybody. How are you saying you're not painting a narrative?
I don't.
Exactly.
I'm not implying, or I don't think necessarily. And I'm sorry I said the Harvey Weinstein thing. I don't wish to pry into his personal life more than I already have. It makes me uncomfortable to do it. Well, but when people are like, sure. give proof, I'm like, it's like I'm either called a liar or I overexpand on something that I know too much about, and I'm like, I don't want. I hate it.
Just don't say it. Just don't
yeah,
say it.
Yeah, you don't have to say things, right?
Sure,
like implying.
She hasn't learned a single thing.
Implying that all of his orbiters are people that he that are people that he sleeps with is like in itself like not even true, right? Like,
it's very far from the truth. And so the problem is that if you even just like if you hold on, wait.
Comments like that are really unhelpful.
I don't.
And if
well,
you
no,
just,
I don't
and if you
care.
throw it out there,
you can have a different opinion on Steven than I have. Neither of us think that Steven is evil, but yes, I absolutely think that
she kind of acts like it.
That he has done more things that I disagree with than you do, obviously.
Well,
and
I've got no opinions on it.
We don't have to. But I think that he has slept with or tried to sleep with enough of his orbiters that it is notable to talk about. It's notable to talk about.
Okay.
I'm pausing really quick because even Destiny has said, "Okay, prove it." If she keeps saying these, just prove it. And let's say he has slept with a bunch of orbiters. If it's all consent, who cares? You know? Like, they're all happy, willingly doing it. Who cares?
Well, I feel like I've never gotten that impression. Not so erudite's never gotten that impression, you know? Like,
yeah, I've never gotten that
joke. That's a joke.
I've gotten that impression, but I feel like it's all consent. I don't feel like he's ever fucked around with them in an inappropriate way.
His female orbiters, like me, Genevieve, Cherry, he tried to sleep with Kelly Jean. Kelly Jean said no. He's hooked up with Pixie.
Okay, he's a coomer. I will not deny that he's a coomer,
yeah, so
but like,
a good portion of the women he's streamed with, he's tried to sleep with.
When you go and you make these statements that are kind of more generalized and broad and say that he sleeps with his orbiters and you don't qualify it because you don't want to pry into it, you leave it hanging out there, especially when you had a relationship with them. You leave it hanging out there. Like, this is a very, very
and she acts like it's
consistent and broad practice of his. And like, there's something
could be wrong about that, but I mean, she called him Harvey Weinstein.
That is the problem with that.
Yeah, because then he'll go online and say crazy shit and like I mean, are we forgetting that he went on?
She's so delusional. This is what I was talking about earlier at the start of my stream. That's why I wanted to get into this. She said that minimum wage people make $100,000 a year, or something like that. It was crazy, and that's why I felt like I just got a slap to the face. So she's just absolutely delusional half the time. I feel like I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about what she's saying today.
After I've yes, he's reacting, but he also goes on and he talks about how I have mid pussy and how I'm like my narcissistic abusive mother. I'm like, to your stream of
that'd be kind of sus, but
like how much more engagement does he get than I do on social media? You know what you're doing. Come on.
He's
But you're like, he's just reacting, but I'm not allowed to? I'm not allowed to react to the way that I feel about the way that he's treated me, but he can react to the way that he's in, but for some reason he can act with impunity even
It's
though
one
that's
thing. It's
inappropriate.
one thing. Wait a minute. It's one thing. It's one thing to react to how you have your individual relationship with him, right? But it's another to make these generalizations about him and his friends and the people that he surrounds himself with, right?
He's going hard in the face of some really, really massive allegations coming from you about him.
I don't even know what the allegations are. I said that I had a perfectly consensual relationship with him. It was completely fine, and then I felt like his life was really messy. I felt that he was exhibiting some behaviors that I don't want.
Well, his life is kind of messy.
Someone that is close to me, and that I think that it is weird how he tries to or has
he doesn't
slept
try.
with a significant amount of women that come on his streams and then laughs gleefully when they're like fighting each other in front of him. That is weird to me, and that is literally the extent of what I've said about Steven. I've said, other than that, I've said that Steven is a great person. He's very smart, very funny. I loved our friendship. I miss him. Like, I don't know what I could say that is not making him a god that people would be happy with. Like, I am so nuanced on this. Max, less so.
Well, but you
and I
literally
get that.
just said that you didn't want to get nuanced with the claim about him sleeping with his orbiters because you didn't want to pry into people's personal lives.
No, it's nuanced on whether or not it's good or bad that he's doing that. Everyone knows that he is a coomer, right?
The problem with vague posting about such a serious thing is that it makes people want to.
I don't care.
attack.
They jump to the worst conclusion. People will jump to the worst conclusion when you say
Then I will
stuff,
clarify that I do not think that Stephen is evil, and that is all I will say.
Well,
You're not gonna get
how
any
about
more out of
malicious?
me.
Do you think he is malicious in what he does?
No.
No. Okay.
See, I think this is go on, Sonia.
That's important because that's sort of the thing that people are picking up from you is that he's like maliciously weaponizing his power to sleep with his orbiters and such, right? So that's the kind of tone that everybody picks up from you, and he responds aggressively to your tone and the things you're saying.
I think I'm also open to him being malicious. Like, I'm not like I don't necessarily think that or wish that for him, but I'm open to it being malicious. Yeah, you guys
look
are
sick as
not.
fuck.
I just don't think he has the time. I don't think he has the time. I don't think he has the time to be malicious like that. I think he's too busy.
And if you're gonna go back on what you said that no, you don't think
Yeah,
he's
you look
malicious,
sick.
but now you've kind of changed that and said that you're open.
No,
to
I
it.
have not changed it. I still don't think, and I wish that he isn't. But if he is, like, I'm not gonna run defense for him. I also don't. No, we will have access to the same information once Max gets out the article. I don't know the ins and outs of every relationship that he's ever had. I know anecdotes that worry me a bit, that, you know, make me have my guard up, like obviously what
You
he
have
said
your
about
guard
his
up so much
ex-wife
that you
and
fuck him.
the way that he basically used me as like a therapist when
Put
him
shield
and
up,
Melina
but has
were
pussy out.
going through shit. Like, I know certain things, but I'm like,
It's kind of relatable. That's how I feel about my girl, though.
some of it, like, the question is whether or not it's malicious, I think.
It's
and
not.
I can't answer the
So-
question.
So this is what I'll say. This is kind of my point. The energy you're getting from him and from some other people is in response to the kind of energy you're putting out about them, right? So if you don't like it, if it bothers you, if it's something you're tired of dealing with, you need to either get more specific
it
or you
doesn't
need
matter
to
if
not.
I'm tired of it. It's gonna happen.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Lav, can I put something here? So you recognize that Destiny is a person that, or I'm not gonna say Steven because I'm not one of the fucking the in group here, but you recognize as a person that lives so incredibly in the public eye, and that if you speak about things that you're uncertain about, that's the reason that he's going hard on this shit, right? It's that he has to do it because he almost exclusively exists inside the public eye.
Listen, but there's this implication that every time you speak about something, you need to have evidence for it, and I'm the only person who is held to that standard.
That is not true.
That's not true.
She always does this, bro.
That's on the internet. That is on the internet, and that's
Welcome to
There's a whole
fucking
bunch of
internet.
autists around here. They're gonna press you.
Degree
Unless
that
you're
I can't
Markiplier.
even share, like,
And
I don't have
Jacksepticeye
to
stuff.
tell you everything about why I think that it could be malicious. I literally can just say I think it could be, and then everyone, if we were normal people, would just be like, interesting. We'll see how that plays out.
No,
So I told you
hold on,
the
sorry,
commentary space is autism central,
Like
right?
even not even in the political commentary space. If you are talking about somebody you have a previous relationship with in a friend group, let's just take it away from the internet. Let's say I
I'm
had
not
a
trying
friend.
to convince you of anything. That's the
No, I'm
problem.
not
So if
trying.
you're
I'm not.
talking
I know.
to
I know
a
you're not
person in a
trying
friend
to.
group,
I
and
know
you're like,
you're not
this is
trying
what,
to.
She's
and you're
already,
like,
like,
this is what happened to me,
screaming, bro.
and
Chill.
this
Chill,
is
chill, chill.
whatever. I'm not trying to get anyone to stop watching Steven, to think less of him, to do whatever. I am
Well, you did
literally
in the past,
just
so
speaking
that's
my own
probably what
opinion.
they're getting at
You
from.
can disagree. You can completely. You can not believe me, I guess. Like, but this is the thing. So it would be normal to be like, I disagree with that, and I don't know how founded that is. The problem is that I am not awarded that luxury. When I say anything, it's like you're a liar, which I get.
Only in that community
have
because
no
you're hated
horse
in that
this race
community.
with
Maybe
you.
if
I
you
don't
actually
fucking
would
care.
like
Sorry, I need
leave
to
and
stop
be
calling Steven
a
this 'cause
intelligent
I hear
person
this
and talk to
brutal.
different people
It's
every
on your
day.
start. Like I have no horse in the race for Destiny. I'm not a Destiny fan. I'm not an Orbiter. I don't want to be. I don't interact with that community at all. I don't fucking care about the outcome. My point is, like, you say something like, okay, cool. Well, he goes and he these people and has these conversations. If you say that to fucking normie people, if you're in a friendship group and you're like, yeah, my ex-partner who I was having sort of an openish relationship with, like, does all these things. We went through all these things, went through all these conversations. Like, normie people are gonna straight up be like, okay, cool. Well, that's really up. Like, from the way you're saying it, and either you need some evidence for that, because, and like on the guy's side, they're gonna want to like be like refute that, because this is the sort of thing that's not just like maybe a couple less people are gonna watch him. This sort of thing like crashes careers, and the idea that even big streamers like are immune to this shit, it's just not fucking true.
Crash.
Nah,
Dude,
for real.
This will do nothing to Steven's fucking career.
So
At this point,
it doesn't matter, Lav,
this
it
point,
doesn't
it probably
matter,
won't.
because so I told you earlier about the space being full of a bunch of autists, and it's all about political
why is
commentary.
everybody
It's like
acting
people are
like
going to nitpick everything and scrutinize everything, and especially when it comes to claims about other bigger creators, you're going to end up with a whole bunch of people.
You mean a bunch of
trying to,
losers, is what you mean,
push back
'cause you
on
can't
that and
think of
say,
a better
where's
word
your
of it.
evidence? And it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl, they're going to go after you just as much. So it's something you just need to be prepared for. If you're going to make any claims about anybody who's a creator or a streamer in this space, you're going to be put on blast for it, and you're going to have to be prepared to back up your claims. And honestly, it happens outside of the political commentary space too. It happens in other spaces where you have.
You've just seen the shit with
creators and
Salvo,
such.
right?
Yeah.
Like, the Salvo's been completely fucking run off the internet over this shit. Edwin's trying to desperately recover.
Salvo
Like, so,
Pancakes is part of the drama commentary community.
yeah, he's been run off. Multiple people get run off for shit like this. People take like claims around sex or power play really seriously.
Yeah.
And like you can have that opinion.
That's
but
why.
my
That's
point is
why I came into this space mostly when I heard Mr. Girl talk about shit like this. I disagree with that premise. I'm not gonna live my life based off that premise.
Oh, are we
this whole
doing
thing
personal
out.
sex life details in here? Is that what's going on?
It's gross,
fucking.
dude.
It's
so
I'm so lost as to why it matters.
Alright.
Yeah, we're down to
Personal
11.
sex life details, and Zonia saying it's gross as if you didn't just try to bait me into substantiating. what
No,
we met
because
up.
you were vague posting about
Jesus Christ.
this shit, and I was just like, fuck it, just put it out there. Don't
Now
vague
you
post
get in
about
front
it
of
anymore.
Steven and you're like, oh, so gross.
Well,
Yeah,
Okay, wait.
no,
I just want like a really clear like yes or no. Lav, when you were blowing up on my stream, doing like all the big streams for.
I know I'm in front of a monster right now, but I want this to prove that Destiny just said that he is never, ever gonna talk to them ever again. These two. I knew he would. Thank God. Give me the content. But why? Why? These people love rotting their mental health. It's like Steven or Destiny. I just like calling him both names. He literally has said that he's literally said that he loves to talk to these crazy people. Bro, rot your brain cells. I make you a Dark Souls 2 character. I'd love to see it.
Happening. Wait.
Hold on. Let me take a breath.
Sure.
Let's all take a breath.
Okay, just
Proud
a
of her,
really
she's
basic
actually
question.
learning.
Hold on. I don't want this to be a crazy conversation. This is the first time that we have talked since November. I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm feeling a bit emotional. Give me like 30 seconds of like small talk, please.
Where'd you get that hat at?
Amazon.
Oh my God.
What's it supposed to be of?
Oh,
Dude,
it's like a cat.
just
Cat.
start.
I'm like a
Dude,
cat in a hat.
start the wall, bro. Start
Gotcha.
going. Just start going.
Glasses
It's
are
so
from Warby
annoying.
Parker. Not sponsored.
Why'd you go with the blue snowball instead of the blue Yeti?
I actually have a blue Yeti, and it's not set up. I also got one of those
God,
like
this makes me like
e-horror,
twitch.
like ASMR ear mics, and I'm ready to.
I thought you were done doing sex work.
Oh, is ASMR sex work?
I don't know if you're
Not
doing with the
necessarily.
ear. I think if you're doing with the weird ear mics, you know, I don't know.
Oh, I'm
I
not
don't-
gonna do like the. I'm gonna read like I'm gonna read Harry Potter or something.
Do you
I'm not
think?
gonna, like,
Do you think
the
like
tongue
asexuals aren't capable of doing ASMR work on stream?
What the fuck,
There's
dude?
some,
This is going
ace
to in depth.
erasure going on here.
I don't know. I don't know.
Look, all I'm saying is you know damn well that there are people yoinking their dicks to that shit, okay? That's
Sure.
all I'm saying. So
I think people yoink their weenies to just about anything these days.
They're yoinking right now. They're yoinking right now.
There are people with one hand in their pants and one hand
That's
on
me.
the chat.
I've been
That's
seeing
me right
typos
now.
in every single chat. We know where the yoinking's happening.
True.
You can
Okay, just a random timeline question, okay?
Yes.
When you started to come on and there were the huge, like 10 to 15,000 viewer streams, I'm pretty sure we had been done doing anything sexual for like weeks or months at that point. Is that true or false?
Weeks or months are really different, Stephen.
tell.
But
3 weeks or a month.
That's November 9th. It had been 2 months since we met up.
Okay,
think
1
we're-
month. Wait, hold on, Stephen. 1 month since you asked to drive with me to TwitchCon.
Which we didn't do. We didn't meet up at all, right?
Yes, which we didn't do. But
Okay.
of course, that was.
A little sketch,
Are you
Steven?
gonna
Steven?
try to pretend that that wasn't going to be that we were just gonna be like hee friends?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Sure, but it was there, right? Like we had.
It might have been,
hadn't
but we
closed
didn't-
The door. We hadn't closed the door.
Oh, well, listen, my door's never closed, okay? But
I
what I'm
know,
saying is,
I know.
we didn't have, you present this as though you're coming on to, this is just the impression
Wait,
that I think
I'm
people
not
get.
presenting anything.
Okay, I'm sorry. It is
I'm not
being
presenting
presented, I'm using the passive voice now. It's being presented as though you are coming onto my stream into the combat zone, crying in private because of how traumatic
That's
it
what I'm
is,
saying.
and then
This
I'm
is- this
sexting
is
you
a
at the same
war
time.
right now.
But there's like at least a month or two, I think you just said 2 months of distance between us having any type of sexual relationship and the crazy combat sports starting on my stream.
No, any sort of sexual relationship. Steven, you just said that in October it could have been. We were still flirting. We had never had the conversation like, let's not do this. Our last in-person meetup, we had done something sexual together. There was no door that was closed. We were still absolutely flirty with each other, and I think we both like were open to sexual experiences in the future, right? Neither of us had a negative sexual experience with each other, so it's not like there was like some moment in which it was like not expected anymore. So yes, I still think that we had an open door policy for our sexual relationship.
Okay, I'm gonna repeat the same question
Oh my
because
God.
what you just did was so like
also-
not
and
anything.
also-
Well, hold on, wait. You just said a whole bunch of things. So the reality is we had. Now you can say there was a quote unquote open whatever, but the reality was we hadn't done anything sexual. I don't even think we traded like a pic or vid or anything for. I want to say it was over a month. It might have been 2 before like
is the-
shit
what
started
is
to
the-
blow up.
Okay, the time frame though. What are you trying to insinuate with bringing up like it had been a month? Like what does that
Because
mean?
you're making it sound like you're getting extremely traumatized on my stream while we have an active sexual relationship, which was not true.
First of all, I did not make that claim.
Okay, I'm curious, if you were to pull your chat or ask everyone else in this room, does it seem like she's implying that we simultaneously
She
had...
is implying. It doesn't seem, there's no scene, there's
I'm
nothing
telling
about
you
that.
that
She
you
is.
implied that with yourself on Max's stream multiple times.
If I implied that, I completely recant it.
Okay.
Yeah, now she will. She's done this all the time.
I don't
Okay,
think
cool.
I have.
That's good. Okay. Do you, at no point in time, either implicitly or explicitly, did I ever say that you had to do some sexual act or send me anything ever to get on my stream? Didn't I say exactly the opposite?
Hold on. Do you think that you need to implicitly say something for it to exist?
Well, implicit implies it's not being said, but it's being implied. Did I ever imply that?
I got you, OG. I joined the lobby first. We leave the lobby together.
Claim that was what. First of all, you're pretend. Okay, so let's make it very clear.
I shot him in the ass after that.
Max feels differently about this than I do.
Then why do I care what... Okay, well, what is Max's justification?
This is why I watched your stream today and I was like, what is he saying? I was like, why is he acting like I am saying everything that Max has said?
Because you're on his... Because you're his star... Because you're his star witness there supporting you. You guys are both sitting there gaslighting each other that I'm a rapist, sexual abuser.
Apparently there's 13 people. I am one of those people and I have not even made a personal statement. I have not made a statement. All I gave him is our logs before you fucking were a weaselly little worm and deleted them all, you fucking weirdo.
You understand that the reason why I had to delete those logs...
This is you. You're like...
Okay, go ahead, Lav.
You're like, I have the logs for everything. I have every single log. Show me a screenshot. And then I go back and you delete them all? Fucking weird, dude.
So the reason... Let me know when you're done. Okay.
Done, I think.
Here's the reality, and I think you guys both know this, but you probably don't care at this point because you're both taking on water. You leaking my personal relationships with other people doesn't really make me look bad because all you're doing is hurting the other people involved. So when you guys are, I don't care what you're trying, you literally leak false information this stream, saying shit like I've hooked up with Madame Genevieve. I've never even seen her in real life before.
No. I didn't say that you hooked up with Madame Genevieve. I said that you guys had a sexual relationship. I
had literally 10 different people message me telling me a list of people that I hooked up with. That's just one that you mentioned that I've never seen before. So you're either misspeaking more than you realize, or you're lying to me right now. I can't confirm or deny anything because if I start confirming or denying anything, then you can just ask me questions about any person.
I don't even know what to say this. They're just yelling at each other right now.
Lav, you have absolutely no fucking right to have access to my or any other woman's personal sexual relationship unless you want to go ask them.
On the record, she is public with it.
Then I don't. First of all, that's fine. If she's public with it, then you don't need to ask me. But I'm not in the business here of dicking people down and then bragging about it on stream. That's not something that I'm interested in doing. That's what you're asking me to do. That's what you're asking me to do right now.
No, I'm not.
That's what you're begging me to confirm or deny a sexual relationship right now. I'm not going to do that here, Lav.
So weaselly. We brought that up because I said that it was strange that you had a sexual relationship with her, and then you were like, we never hooked up, and I said you didn't hook up. You sexted, and you're like, well, I can't confirm nor deny. What the fuck, Steven?
I had 10 different people tell me that you said that we hooked up. Maybe all of them misheard, in which case that's fine. But still, the fact that you're Lav, you're trying to leak all sorts of stuff right now as gotchas. None of this is gonna make me look bad. All you're doing is harming the other people involved.
Yeah.
There is no leak that is not public. Everyone knows that you and Cherry had a public relationship because she fucking did a twit longer about it. Everyone knows that everyone is or going to know because Madame Genevieve went on the record, said that she was completely perfectly comfortable with stating that you guys had a sexual relationship. Kelly Jean has publicly said that you tried to sleep with her and she said no.
I think Steven's point is what's the point?
When you say, Lav, when you say tried to sleep with, there's a lot of people that I've like flirted with and it didn't go anywhere. Do you understand that that's what you mean when you say tried to sleep with? Like, I flirted with Kelly Jean in a but that's not the message you're conveying. You're making me sound like a rapist. He tried to sleep with him. I flirted with Kelly 6 years ago.
Harvey Weinstein.
Lav, it's not Lav. You literally called me Lav. You called me the Harvey Weinstein of Twitch.
Oh my gosh! Yes, at that point, there's.
What do you think that implies?
When we go back in our DMs, I send you a scantily clad photo, and you say, "Welcome to the Orbiters Club."
Yeah, and I've asked you if you're doing okay, and you're like, I still want to fuck you. Of course we joke. Do you really think that that was your entry into my stream? Well, I just want to know, do you think that was a serious...
I got perms after that. I don't know.
So, okay,
Okay,
just to
so
be
now
clear,
she's
you're
actually-
hinging all
now
of
she's
my
actually doing
implied
it.
sexual coercion on me saying, welcome to the Orbiter Club.
Implied sexual coercion. Listen.
Is that, I just want to hear you say that. You're telling me that you think that was the serious me saying, welcome to the Orbiter Club. You've made it because you sent me a picture?
I think your implied sexual coercion, this is what I think. Because I really do not want anyone to put words in my mouth, okay? I think that you live an extremely messy sexual life, okay? I think that when you mix that with now 8 to 13,000 people who are now part of your life parasocially, it is even messier and potentially abusive. I think,
with
hold
all
on, let me finish. I am aware that a lot of this is like just the way that I feel, right? And part of me feels very sheepish and embarrassed that I feel like I expected you to protect me more after having.
Okay, I'm not gonna let you ramble on this. Lav, with all due respect, the one who's making this messy in front of my audience is you and Max.
Are you kidding, Steven? You, for years, have been known to have the messiest fucking sexual social life in this fucking sphere. Don't
Lav,
dare.
I have had sexual relationships with tons of people where nothing has gone public. You're looking at the
Yeah,
most
we didn't
public
even know he
facing
was
stuff
horny
and
until after
trying to
you.
condemn all of my sexual relationships
I
on that.
found
You want to do
through
that?
Anna. I found you through the fucking Anna shit.
That's great,
This
and I
is
know of
fucking-
you because of false allegations you've made about other people besides Hassan in the past.
Here we go. Like, this is
Like what?
This is what you do. I bring something up, and then you have to make me a liar. You can't like
Because you
have
lied.
to-
Because you
have to
lied
put
Because you
this
are one.
picture.
Because you-
Steven,
It's-
you lie all the time. Also, you lie
This
all the
is-
time. Also, and this is what you
This
do.
could be true,
You
too,
say,
but we don't know
"So
because
what,
he
I'm a
can't show any
liar,
evidence."
You're also a liar. That's not up for fucking debate. We're talking about you right now, Steven.
No,
and you're like,
no, you're
but you.
obsessively
You don't
talking
need to
about
talk
my.
me.
You're upset. I
Obsessively,
do
Steven,
need
I
to
haven't
talk
talked
about you.
for
Of course.
months.
What do you mean? You just had a 5-hour struggle session stream on me like 4 nights ago.
Before that, when was the last time I spoke about you?
Constantly. You don't think I get DMs leaking of
Name
you
another
talking
time.
shit about me?
Name
You do it in
another
private
time.
discords all the time.
Where? Name another time.
Do you want to listen to the audio recordings I have of you talking to me in multiple fucking rooms? Lav, why are you pretending that I...
Substantiate it. Yeah, send it to me in DM. Substantiate.
No, I'm not going to tell you who
have
my...
been
I'm not
on
going to tell you who my
stream.
source is.
You have been on stream.
Okay, now he just sounds crazy.
For days, weeks, months talking shit about me, and I have said fucking nothing publicly where you have dragged me through the fucking mud every chance you get when anyone comes on and talks shit about me, and you say I'm looping?
Lav.
You go over fucking everything. You also loop, dude.
Lav.
It's a fucking joke.
Only time I bring you guys up are when you bring me up. You're the one that, by the way, sexually abused me by leaking details of our hookups to a guy that you know hates us. By leaking, yeah, you have. I haven't talked about any of you shit talking Connor after we fucking hooked up. I haven't leaked any of the private shit of our hookup. But you're out here literally giving details to every fucking person.
I don't know why
You
you
have
gotta freak out
absolutely
like
done
that.
this, and you're
This
doing
is
it
just
constantly in these
some
back
drama.
rooms.
Never did that.
Some
You
drama.
are
I don't really give a fuck about drama. I want
liar.
actual,
That is
consistently dumb
ridiculous.
shit.
I can't even
They're just yelling at each other
believe
about
you would
past
try
stuff.
to get a fucking licking like that. You are disgusting.
While you're constantly
licking?
doing
See, I don't
it
think
on
she knows
stream
what a
after
lick is.
stream after stream
I have
after stream.
never-
Really?
This is horribly disgusting. I cannot even believe that you did that. If you want to have a conversation like this, you absolutely cannot talk about my fiance again, and you absolutely cannot make up fucking lies about
Why?
it.
still
You
together.
talk about my fiance all the time, and I'm not lying. You literally have. You're talking
I
about
talk
me
about
all
your
the
wife
time in the
who
back.
your life is public.
Okay, and guess what? Yours is too. If you want to be out here saying, "Oh, the CMO boyfriend," and you want to be talking with Max, you want to be digging into my personal life constantly, then your life is just as public as mine, of course.
Kenny, I literally can't even believe that you would like blatantly lie like that. Like I'm genuinely.
Literally can't believe
Do you
it.
want me to repeat what you said about him, and you can tell me if it's a lie or not?
Steven, what the fuck are you doing?
Do you want me to repeat
Oh,
what you
she's
said about
doing
him, and then
this
you can tell
again.
me if it's a lie or not, or? Why don't you guys just stop talking about me publicly, right? You leaked every single little fucking obsessive thing. Oh, now I'm threatening you like the fake blackmail before? You've already leaked everything about our personal sexual relationship. Do you understand that?
Me.
Oh my god.
Steven,
It's the loop again. It's the loop again.
Me with
It's
the
the loop
fucking
again.
lie.
I didn't threaten you with a lie. It's the truth and you know it.
What the are you talking about?
You realize your entire existence online right now just revolves around threatening to out me as a Harvey Weinstein of Twitch, right?
I have
That
never
is facts.
threatened to out you.
Yeah,
I'm not writing the
okay, this is
I'm
delusional.
explaining what I am doing
You're
with
the
Max.
star witness on the article, Lav. What are you talking about? Like 20% of it's gonna be about us.
Yeah, you
I
are.
have not done.
You're
I have
literally
not
the
even
person
given
that
a fucking
dragged
statement.
Anna to fucking Max and then mind her for 3 hours to try to get her to fucking leak all of her fucking logs to him.
First of all, Anna contacted me before.
She always says that.
Not
But
And
about
I
that.
did not drag her.
Not about
I did not
that.
fucking drag her into
Was it about that? Was it about
Also,
connecting her to Max for
not
the
you.
little article you guys are writing?
It was her saying that you were abusive. It was after you said "shut up, bitch," and she was saying, "I'm so sorry that Steven did that." That's part of Steven has an abusive cycle.
How did Anna get in contact with Max, Lav?
They had talked before.
How did
Anna
she get in contact? How did she get in contact with Max for the article?
Wait, hold on. They had spoken before.
That's not what I'm asking you, Lav. I'm asking you,
No, okay.
how did
They
she get
had
in contact with Max for the
spoken
article?
Anna told me that you guys were still sexting. I was like, she was like,
I mean,
"God,
that's a valid
he's
answer,
so
though.
abusive, but like,
That's kind of a long
way of saying you connected her to Max, right?
Destiny kind of looking
Yeah,
a
and
little
then I
loopy
said,
right
and then
here.
I went to Max and I said, "Oh my God, Anna just told me that they are still sexting each other and never stopped."
Yep. And then you connected Anna to Max so she could be part of your guys' little hit piece on me.
What do you mean?
It's no coincidence that Max
Here's a little
came
scroll
on
down to
with
Destiny.
Elder
Destiny's
Rising and no one paid any
finally
attention
confronts
to it.
Lav.
But then, like, had a stream with you
25,000
and
views
Max.
already. Damn.
Like, Max-
Yeah, I knew this was gonna get big.
Hold on, Steven. Every chance I have gotten online, to the detriment of myself, I have said I do not think what you have done is that bad, worth condemning. I wouldn't personally write an article
But
on
she's
you.
trying.
I literally went against.
She did try.
I don't know if you watched the whole fucking video that I did with Max, but I literally was like, "This is all my fault. I made a mountain out of a molehill. I don't know what to fucking do. I wish that none of this would have happened." And now you are acting like I am like the fucking.
You literally don't believe any of that. You were giggling along with Mr. Girl while he was telling you that you didn't make a mountain out of a molehill. You're right to feel like you were abused and coerced. And that is the implication that you
It feels
give.
very good for someone to tell you that something is not your fault. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it does, especially when it all is your fault, Lav. I'm sure it feels really good. When you imply over and over again that we had an active sexual relationship while you were blowing up on my stream, you've said it this stream, I'm glad at least you admit that that's not true, that is horribly misrepresented. And then when you're out here talking shit about all these other streamers, about Kelly, about
I don't think
Pixie,
you've ever
about
said
Madame
that there was
Genevieve,
an
when you're trying to like leak all these other things that you
Yeah,
think
it's
you
cool
may
how
or may
she
not
had a
know about me
combined
to the
chat.
detriment of them, because none of this hurts me, right? And then you're sitting here acting like you're the indignant one after you've leaked personal hookup details about me to fucking big tech that's leaking it publicly when you've talked about it multiple times on stream. How do you think you have the fucking high road here? Like, you've done nothing but betray my
I
trust
think
and the trust of every other person for nothing. And if I wasn't sexually abusive or coercive, it's even worse for you because you're leaking it all for attention. You're not even leaking it for a good fucking reason.
But this is what I was saying earlier, that it's almost like it's understandable why Steven feels this way, because it's like he didn't do one thing. He didn't do one thing that he doesn't do for anybody, right? And you took that and discounted every part of his friendship.
Okay,
and
Bart, I'm having a conversation with Steven.
Okay.
You do not need to run defense. I don't want this to be a conversation with a peanut gallery. If it's gonna be me and Steven, it's gonna be me and Steven.
You understand that it's like also like extra annoying that two messages, I literally explicitly told you that our sexual relationship was totally independent from anything happening on our stream, which you seem to understand and joke about. And two, I explicitly
Hold on.
checked.
Okay, Steven,
No, let me finish
hold
my
on.
sentence. You cut me off on every single thing, okay?
No, because
Oh my
Steven,
God,
you're
cut me
talking
off
too
again.
fast. You're talking too fast.
Yeah,
it's
and
hard
then
for me to
ramble
keep
on some
up.
irrelevant shit. Go for it.
And we're not having like a healthy discussion. When I don't have notes, You're talking really fast. If you could please
I'm
talk
stupid.
slightly
I literally like
slower.
the melee
Okay,
Please.
two things. One, I explicitly told you that nothing we do or did or will ever do sexually has anything with you coming on stream. You joked back at me about that, but I even reaffirmed it to make sure, and you said that you appreciated and you understood that. Number one. And number two, you keep saying I wasn't taking care of you or checking in on you. I explicitly DM'd you to check in on you to see if you were okay, and you told me you were fine. And all of this was happening when we did not have a sexual relationship. How is it my fault for you minding yourself on my stream?
Steven, I've already conceded publicly and said that was my bad, that I should have managed my own emotions better.
So if I'm checking in on you and giving you like clear boundaries on like, hey, this doesn't have to be sexual, blah 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 blah, how is any of this coercive or abusive on my end?
Steven, I don't think that it's coercive or abusive. That is Max.
Then what have I done wrong to you?
I mean, I don't. If you really want to talk about it, then we can talk about it not publicly.
let me buy a
I've
drink for
already
you.
talked to you privately, and you wouldn't seriously reference anything. So
No,
I'm asking
when I
you
told you about how I felt, you would like try to debate me out of it.
because you were already working with a guy who was digging into every woman I've ever talked to, trying to write a sexual assault piece on me.
Steven, you want me to be working with Max, and I'm not working with Max. There's
Like,
no
you already
Nah,
read
my
half his
girlfriend gave him the name.
manifesto.
He was Vietnam vet.
I've not read any of it. I've not read a fucking word of it.
Really? How are you referencing things that's going to be in it then
asked
on
me that I
stream?
never joined, so
What
I
am
never
I?
did.
What do you mean reference?
Wanted
You
to,
did
though.
it once in this conversation with the Welcome to the Orbiter Club. You
Nah,
referenced
I'm
that
some
to
bitch who
Max.
plays
and
games.
talked
In our
about
logs.
spoiling. And
In our
yeah, but then you
logs.
talked about don't spoil. What are you spoiling? The manifesto. You know that's going in it. You've read some of the material that's going to be in it. Why are you
I
lying
have
about
not
this
read
now?
it. I have not read it. He
I didn't
said
say
it.
you
Mongo,
read
I
the
played
whole
with you the
thing,
game
but
you
know
learned
about
how to
it.
talk, by the way.
No, in conversations when me and Max were talking, he'll relate to me when he was
I've just been
going through
jumping
our
around.
logs because I didn't know what the fuck was in our logs. He'd call me and he'd talk to me about what happened in it, clarify a couple things because there were some things where like after we had talked on the phone, things weren't clear in text. After we had met up in September, what our messages were like.
We're going
after,
on a
he wanted to
long
know the
movie.
context
This is a
of, and he said,
movie, a
you know
Jarhead
what?
movie.
Right after you sent pictures to Steven, he said, "Welcome to the Orbiters Club. Isn't that interesting?" And I said,
I'm just
"Huh,
gonna copy
that
all
is
these.
interesting." I didn't
Destiny
read any of it.
politics debate. Wow,
Well,
never
how do you
mind.
know there are
Those
13
horrible.
girls involved in it?
He publicly said that, I think, on his hotline.
So you don't think so despite him muting you multiple times, despite you starting to talk about things and him saying, what are you doing? And you're going, oh, I don't
He
know.
mute me about Brianna.
Okay.
That was it.
So, okay. I don't believe you at all, but that's fine.
It's also I'm just gonna put it out.
He muted me when I was talking about Brianna. Like, you
Sure.
don't have to believe me. That's
To
fine.
reiterate that, hold on, to circle around and to reiterate, so then I haven't done anything wrong by you. Because I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Hold
Because
on.
I checked in on you,
Wait,
I
have
had
you
clear
done,
boundaries.
have you
Yeah,
done
go ahead.
anything wrong? Have I been uncomfortable with some of the things you've done? Yes.
Prior to Max, tell me what?
Steven, I told you, I like,
Tell me again.
I feel uncomfortable that we had an open-ended sexual relationship and that
When I explicitly made it clear that that didn't...
and I felt like you were letting people shit on me, especially Abba.
Blah, 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 blah. Let's play this in another timeline. Let's say that there are conversations about feminism going on my stream, and you DM me and you go, hey, I really want to be involved in this. If I would have DM'd you and said, nah, sorry, we hooked up, I'm not going to let you in on this one, how the fuck do you think you would have responded? Do you think that would have been the way for me to go?
I probably would have been like, okay, that actually, I mean, that makes
What?
sense.
How much, do you understand how much you're lying right now? I can't tell if you, like, you understand that you
hold
would
on,
have...
Steven, can you fucking, you're like 100 miles per hour. Please just like a little slower. It is nighttime.
That's
okay?
so fucked up.
When
To
I
just
said,
shit
if
on
you
for
would have
talking
said
to
like, hey, now that we have a sexual relationship, I'm actually not super comfortable having you on stream because I don't want to give you special treatment, and I feel like because my community goes really hard on people, I don't want that to be our dynamic. I would have been like, fuck. And I would have probably fought back, but it's kind of your responsibility to hold that boundary and be like, this is what I want.
It's my
I would've been like,
responsibility
okay.
to make it so that any person I hook up with is not allowed to come onto my stream?
No. If you, no. I'm saying.
Should
if
I
you
just
had
be
said that-
fucking my way through debate
hold on.
opponents so they can't ever contradict me?
Steven, hold on. I said if you would have set that boundary. I don't think that that should be the standard that you have I think.
Okay, so here's the standard.
Hypothetical. I was still in the hypothetical.
Okay, here's the standard that I have then. What I would say is, hey, we've had a sexual relationship in the past. It doesn't affect anything going forward. We don't have to do anything forward, and we didn't do anything going forward. And then also, I would check on you to make sure that was okay. I did both of those things explicitly, and there are logs to prove it, and there are logs showing you understood that. So I don't know what you think I've done wrong by you, aside from you manipulating me and hiding your feelings to get on stream.
I'm not doing that shit.
Steven. Okay. I listen. Again, this is mostly about like feelings, right? So I don't think that there's like, you want me to pick out like an action where it is undeniable that you did something wrong, and that's
No,
just
I want you to pick out an action where I would reasonably.
Steven, please, for the love of God. You want me to pick out something that you could have specifically done, or there one action where things could have been completely different. And we both know that the nuances of
Please stop. No,
relationship-
you don't understand the nuances of any interpersonal anything. Please don't talk to me about them. When I have these types of relationships, I try to remove as much of the nuance as possible by being as explicit as possible. And I was with you multiple times.
Can't remove the nuances of
You
everything
absolutely
in a
can.
personal
Instead of
relationship,
trying to
Steven.
figure out maybe she's okay with it, maybe she's not. That's why I explicitly messaged you and said, hey, I know we've been sexual in the past, but that has nothing to do with anything going forward, and it has nothing to do with you coming on stream. There is no nuance in that. That is an explicitly clear statement, and you agreed to it. When I checked on you later and I said, hey, there's a lot of people bullying you right now. Do you feel okay? And you were like, yeah, I'm fine, 100%. That's an explicit statement.
Steven, I will openly admit I should have had firmer boundaries for myself and been more communicative with you. That is not the problem.
What is the problem?
That's not the problem.
What is my problem? What did I do wrong that I should have done better? Tell me an area where I could have improved.
Again, Steven, I think that your relationships are really messy.
I don't care about Lev, you're literally in no position to comment on anybody's relationships. I don't care about your opinion on my relationship. I'm asking with you.
Me?
I'm saying
Steven,
with
you
you.
asked me a question.
Yes, with you, in regards to you. Tell me what I could have done differently.
This is making my
Steven,
eyes
this is
burn.
what you didn't say, tell me what I've done differently. You
She's
said,
so
what
dumb.
have I done
I'm
wrong?
crying.
What am
I don't give a about a 21-year-old
crying right now.
dipshit's opinions on my personal relationships. I'm asking in regards to you. What do you think I could have done differently with
Are you gonna be 25 this year?
I'm
Are
asking
you
in
acting like a
regards to you,
19-year-old?
obviously. I don't need your commentary on my life.
Well, no, you said
God,
then
my
what's
eyes.
the problem? You said then what's the
Yeah,
problem?
so tell me, what did I do that I could have done better with you?
That's a completely wildly different question.
Sure, then interpret it the way that it obviously was meant.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a relationship
I gotta
coach.
put
I don't
these
know
in my
what
eyes.
you could have done or what I could have done to make our situation
Okay,
better.
cool. Then you have
What I
no
do
complaints
know-
about me. Then
what
why
I do know-
are you screaming about me
What I
publicly
do
then?
know, what I do know, because Steven, I feel uncomfortable with a lot of our relationship, and most of it
What do
is
you feel
due to
uncomfortable with?
me having. Steven, most of it is due to me having poor boundaries, right?
What
The
does
way
that
she's
have to
laughing
do
at
with
him would be,
me?
it's just so
Because you also have poor
shitty.
boundaries.
How did I have a poor boundary with respect to you?
Well, it doesn't have to be in just respect to me. I think that the thing that sent me, I think I care
No,
more
I don't
about,
care about Anna. I don't care about your opinions
Well,
on
that's
other
what I care
relationships I
about.
have. No, it's not.
I
because
care
you
more
called me-
about
No,
when
you-
I
because-
say that you're messy, Steven. Stop.
Okay.
You're trying to. When I say that you're messy, I'm not even necessarily talking about our relationship. Like I said, I think we had a completely consensual, very, completely consensual sexual relationship. No qualms with it. Don't have a problem with it.
Except you publicly outing it and talking shit about it with big tech, but yeah. For literally no reason, yeah.
Well, first of all, I think that it's really uncharitable for you to think that I had any way of knowing that he was going to go public with that information.
Seriously? The big
absolutely-
Max,
But
the
he
Nazi
shit on
guy
it,
that
though.
fucking hates me and got Max Spam reported, you don't think he leaked shit about us?
First of all,
Tech.
I didn't know that he hated you. The only conversation that I'd had with
He's
Big
a
Tech at
Nazi.
that point
Of course he fucking hates me.
where was he was being extremely charitable to me and talking about sex work with me, and then also we had a private conversation about God, and he wanted me to read the Bible and all this shit. I had no fucking idea. I didn't know who this guy was. I didn't even.
Okay, wait, stop. Okay,
Sorry.
but then, so then just to be clear then, I didn't do anything improper with you. I was explicitly clear the whole time. And any
I don't
issues
know
that
if
you
it's
and I have.
improper. I don't know if it's improper.
What do you not know? What are you having trouble figuring out here?
Because Steven, I think the ethics of having a sexual relationship with someone, and then when that sexual relationship now is like sort of mixed into then
It's not
being
mixed.
on stream together in front of like 8,000 to 13,000 people, when I'm also like being bullied pretty hard, which you acknowledged.
Okay, Lav, if you want to have an adult...
Hold on. I think the ethics of that are questionable. I don't necessarily think that you've done anything evil or bad, but I think it's worth having a conversation about, right?
Okay,
like,
if you want to... No, you're not having that conversation. If you want to put on your...
No, I haven't had that conversation.
You cut me off every single time. If you want to have a big girl conversation about the nuances of mixing sexual relationships and streaming relationships, then have that conversation instead of continuing to say, it's a complicated thing that we should talk about. Then actually talk about it. Because I do explore those relationships, and I try to... Let me finish my sentence. I explore those relationships in the most responsible way I know how to, which is by explicitly making sure that you know that none of that has to do with what happens on stream, and by checking in on you to make sure that you're still okay. Two things that I did explicitly. You can't keep saying, it's nuanced, when I've accounted for that. If you think there's a way that I haven't accounted for, then let everybody know, or say, you know what, I have no problems with Steven, and literally every single issue we have came from my inability to to set boundaries, and for me hiding my feelings from him when he explicitly tried to check if I was okay.
Well, I don't really...
Let me think about that.
I don't accept that premise. Because you're like, well, just admit that everything was
fucked him so
actually your
bad.
fault. And I just... Steven, interpersonal relationships are complicated.
You're not going to take
Like,
that. That's a meaningless statement. When you say they're complicated, how is it complicated? What part was
It's
complicated?
complicated because when I came onto your stream, I didn't know who the fuck you were, and you didn't tell me about your audience or the... I had no really... I had
You
no
didn't what?
way... I had no... Steven, you got so mad when I didn't let you talk. Please.
Because she's lying.
Please.
Much retarded shit. Go for it.
I had no way of knowing what I was in for, honestly. And maybe that could also be my fault, but also, I mean, that's kind of...
Massively your fault.
If I were to have a friend of mine from like high school join my stream, I'd be like, hey, my stream gets a little fucking crazy. It's like a lot of people, and they're like, they get pretty rowdy. Are you sure that you're like ready for something like this?
Lav, we had spoken about online shit, and you'd already told me that you had been through multiple TikTok arcs where you used
And
to be
I'd
FW.
never been through what your community did, ever.
Okay,
ever.
well, Lav, do you understand that there are
that's how
public
she
recordings
would
of
go all
you
the time.
bragging about how
About
much
TikTok,
more
yep.
clout you had than me? How the f am I supposed to know? You were trying to say that I was the small fry compared to you, that you've dealt with way more hate than me because of TikTok. How am I supposed to know that you weren't ready for stream shit?
You're taking those things out of context because both things can be true. It can't be true that one, now there are people like Chud Logic who are like, this is like for clout, all she was is like, she was a nobody and she was trying to fuck Steven for clout. So absolutely, yeah, I'm gonna be like, well, I kind of already had an established career. And then when people are gonna be like, okay, and then there's a different narrative, obviously, because two things can be true at once. When people bring up like, that I am also new in this sphere and I didn't really know anything in this sphere. Like, both things can be true at once and you're trying to make only one of them true and it doesn't work.
Why did you invite the harassment then constantly?
Well, it's not that I invited it as much as I
Lav,
became
you literally
comfortable.
were
Hold on!
tweeting about being
Steven, you
a
asked me a
villain.
question. You asked me a question. I know. You asked me a question. So with the fucking making me the villain thing, Steven, you do the same thing. This is how you respond. This is like how we try to cope with like public outcries.
Don't compare
I
us.
just-
I'm not
Okay.
suicidal, Lav. I'm not here complaining. I've been abused. You
Well, I'm
are.
not suicidal anymore. But first of all, I was suicidal during that time, but I don't attribute that all to you. I attribute that mostly
yeah?
to the internet. And also, yeah, Steven, I was coming off of a fucking benzodiazepine addiction. I was
That would be really... Why don't you mention that next time instead of making it sound like I'm making you kill yourself? You realize what you're saying on
I've literally
screen, right?
mentioned that. I've literally mentioned that so fucking often. If you haven't seen it, you haven't seen it. I've mentioned that.
We just watched you having 3 hours of your... You literally said the worst times in your life were when you got drafted into a fucking cult at 16, and then November when you were on my stream.
Yeah, November was really awful for me. I mean, one of your orbiters.
So
made
no,
a
you didn't
video-
mention anything about benzodiazepines then, did you?
Even one of your videos, one of your orbiters, or two of your orbiters actually made videos about me. Because Low Tier God also
Nice
was an
pivot
orbiter.
away from what you just said, but okay.
Sorry, I'm a little jumbled because you talk fast. What was I?
On Max's stream, you said these were the 2 worst times in your lives. You never mentioned a benzo overdose. Actually, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know.
It's not an overdose detox.
It was no overdose. It was detox.
I don't even know if I knew you were ever detoxing from benzos. So that is not something.
Well, you knew that I was taking them because I took them when we were together.
Yeah, sometimes people
Yeah,
take
but
a
it's not gonna
Xanax.
know
That
that you're
doesn't
detoxing.
necessarily mean you're taking so many that you're abusing them.
Well, You don't have to. I wasn't abusing them.
She wasn't.
If you take any
Detoxing
amount
off of benzos can be rough, even if you're not abusing them.
I wasn't abusing them. I was taking like a normal amount, but if you
Hold on,
detox,
I'm
So
sorry.
here's
I've
the-
never
here's
in
the
my
thing.
life heard somebody refer to like weaning off a medication as detoxing unless they're abusing them.
if it's
My bad.
if it's a
No.
benzo, detoxing is just getting off of it.
It's real in this instance. I mean I work with addiction and people that are not using and that have to go through this procedure. Some people straight up just don't even use benzos when they have a history of addiction because the come down can be a trigger to try and use again. So yeah, this is
Well, it's one of the only
I'm familiar with it because I have a close friend who's been trying to detox off of it.
Sure, that's
so-
fine. It would be nice in the future, maybe if you bring that up, because I don't think I've ever heard you bring that up as a reason why you were suicidal. You literally explicitly
back
blame
off
my
so
community
hard.
for it.
Steven, you also have to understand that if I come out, like, I'm in a catch-22 where if I say, well, I was detoxing off of benzos, anytime I bring you up, your whole community is just gonna be like, another excuse as to why she was fucking crazy. So I'm like,
So
okay,
let's just blame it on me for making you suicidal. That's so much better. Thanks, Lav. True.
Wait, I didn't.
So
Well, I didn't. I
You
don't
did,
think
you
that I
did,
blamed
you
it
did.
fully on you, but I think that
Oh
you
my God.
definitely, Steven.
You like
Steven,
can't
I've watched you.
responsibility for
I've
anything
watched
you
you
say.
ban. Steven, I've watched you ban emotes in your chat when you are losing favor with your audience. You can absolutely do a little bit of fucking cleanup with me. It is not too much.
Lav,
to ask.
I did do cleanup with you. Are you serious?
You did
I had a
after,
whole
you did after, you did
no,
after.
not after. Even during. What do you think partially inspired the entire fucking anti-misogyny arc? Are you fucking
You said
retarded?
that. Oh, I have logs when you said that. That absolutely wasn't me. I have logs of you saying.
No,
that.
it's not you specifically, but it's the hate that women were getting in my community, and you were one of them. No shit, Sherlock.
No, you said this absolutely had nothing to do with me. I have a fucking log.
That's fine that you have a log of it. That's fine you have a log of me saying that, okay? But the reality is that when you were on my stream, I was also trying to clean up my subreddit with misogyny at the same fucking time.
You can just say something without substantiating it, but I can't. What the fuck?
What do you mean? You can go and find the subreddit post. Are you crazy?
No. What do you mean? Am I crazy? You just said that. Steven, I literally have.
You're saying- you're making the
verifiable
claim. You're
evidence
making the
that
claim.
You said that was not because of me. I knew that it was because of me, but you tried to make it like.
Okay, hold on. If you knew that it was because of you, then why are you saying I didn't do anything then?
Because you lied. Because you lied.
No, you're not making any sense right now. If I lied about that, then that means that you did know I was trying to do something to clean up my subreddit. So what do you mean? Did I lie or did I not? Was I trying to clean up the subreddit to make it a nicer place for women, or you're just trying to get an own with me on like some inconsistencies in chat logs? The reality is I wasn't cleaning up misogyny, quote unquote, for you, but I was doing it because my community had a really disfavorable attitude towards women, and you were one of the big ones that was causing it. You and Brittany were not causing it, but it was happening with you guys. So of course I was cleaning those fucking minutes up. It's not funny when you're making jokes when you and Mr. Girl are literally blaming me as like the Harvey Weinstein of Twitch and you're laughing about it. Like you have the most pretty girl syndrome of anybody I've ever met on the internet where nobody's
That's
ever
true.
held
You
you
said that I was
accountable.
mid earlier. What's the truth?
I said your pussy was mid, not you. Obviously you're decently attractive, okay? But you have the
know
most
that my
pretty girl.
pussy's fucking
You have
hot.
the most.
What
You
the
have
fuck
the
are you
most.
talking about?
You have
Another
the most,
lie.
You have the.
Substantiate that claim.
You have the most unaccountable behavior I've ever seen of anybody on the internet, and you try to. It's insane because you're calling me Weasley while you're implying that I made you suicidal, that I was sexting you while you were blowing up on my stream, which wasn't true, that I was being coercive or abusive towards you, which you're now saying didn't happen at all.
Suicidal. I don't think you purposely
Okay,
made me
then do
suicidal.
you acknowledge then that I haven't done anything wrong with you, and I went above and beyond to check and see if you were okay during all of our
I
interactions?
don't know if you did anything wrong with me. I
my
want
God.
to believe that you didn't. I don't know. I hope that you didn't. I hope
Okay,
that you
that's
didn't.
fine. You know what? That's good enough for me.
What
So
is
play
the
this.
statement though? What is
When
the
Mr. Girl,
statement?
well, no, because Mr. Girl's
First
thing
of
is
all,
going to come out.
Steven is conflating what Mr. Girl is doing with how I feel when I have publicly said that I diverge from Mr. Girl's feelings about everything. I've publicly said this I don't know how many times now. Steven, I really don't even have anything against you besides the fact that I just don't want to be.
Cool. So Mr. Girl's article is going to come out and it's going to say I was incredibly abusive and coercive towards Lav because this is like one of his 2 star witnesses. And then somehow she's going to get behind it and try to like square it away with what she's saying now. But at least it's public here now, so whatever, I'm going on.
Wait, Steven, there's no like I'm not making a public statement. There's nothing I've said or there was no accusations of me in the thing. It is literally I just gave Max our logs and he had access to all of the live streams. That is literally it. There is no like I'm not painting a narrative. I am
You
literally.
are.
I just
You called me Harvey Weinstein. You say I'm sexually abusive and coercive to women. You say that I've all these fucking people. You're leaking details about fucking everybody. How are you saying you're not painting a narrative when you're
Well, okay,
constantly
when I
doing
said-
these things
when I
about
said-
me?
When I said that you were the Harvey Weinstein of whatever the, it was after finding out that you had sexual relationships with more than a few.
Yo, can I keep the bot
Or
for a second? I need it. I got
Why
a bunch
was
of more
Harvey
cut out of me.
Weinstein Harvey Weinstein?
Because he was all these girls were sleeping with him to get fucking gigs.
Have you seen any evidence of anybody trading sexual favors with me for stream time, or me even implying that that was the case with anybody?
Okay, so Steven, this is when this conversation needs to expand, right? Because I'm not implying, or I don't think necessarily, and I'm sorry I said the Harvey Weinstein thing, because of what that implied, it completely took out the nuances that I believe are there in the situation. When we talk about stuff like sexual relationships on the stream, I think this is a bigger conversation, because now it's sort of moving out of like implicit consent and implicit conversations, and it sort of moves into this like murky interpersonal like dance that we do with each other, right? So it's like a conversation to be had. I don't
Why aren't
think
you
should
having the
be condemned,
conversation?
because it's real. First of all, I don't know enough about it, right? So maybe
Then
I
why
will have
are
this
you
conversation.
talking about it so much?
Well, because people talk about things that they don't know about all the fucking time. You're
Yeah,
not a
but
fucking
you're doing it
politician.
while accusing
You're
me
not
in
a
the next.
politician.
You're
And
accusing
you're
me
not
in the
a
next breath of being improper the entire time, and I talk about these things because I live these things, because they're important to me, and I do have real conversations about these. I don't constantly hide behind. It's nuance every time somebody tries to call me out on something.
Steven, if you want to have this conversation with me, we can fucking have it. I also, to be honest, Steven, I dip my toe in talking about you. Obviously, I mean, I more than dip my toe. Sometimes I mean, the other day I completely full dived, which was
Jesus Christ.
not on purpose. But
It wasn't on purpose. She makes money off him.
About this shit, like your community is fucking.
She's scared because she might get ended by him.
They're trying to dox me on Kiwi Farms, like they're trying to like.
That's not my community. That's
No, I
Kiwi.
know.
You guys,
No, I
Kiwi
know.
Farms
No, I know.
supposed to talk to me.
I know. But I'm again, Steven,
so
I
you
haven't
connected
really,
it,
even
dude, come
streamed.
on.
I'm a little scared to be in this space like at all.
Then
I mean, on Twitter I
leave.
feel comfortable, but like I haven't really I think I've streamed like 5 times for the past like 3 months. Like this.
How many of them were
world
talking
is
about
so
me?
spooky. This one.
That's it?
Of my personal streams, yeah, I went on to.
How many
back
times
to
are you
stream.
talking about me in personal
God,
discords and
my
shit behind
eyes
the
are so
scenes?
fucking
How
annoying.
many times are you talking about me in personal discords? What the
Never. I
fuck?
don't think about you guys. I'm past you guys. I've been done with you guys for months,
Steven,
and you guys are still working on this article
You
on me.
talk about us on fucking. What do you, Steven? Stop saying you guys. It's not me. I'm not fucking writing the article.
Dude, you're
Steven.
part of his family of weekly meetings, updating each other on this shit. What do you mean, of course?
Wait. We don't have weekly meetings updating each other on this shit. We talk a lot, but it's not just like to talk about you.
Okay.
But also, being in your orbit and being friends with you has affected us deeply. And that's just sort of
I
the
think
truth.
I think it's the calling me a Harvey Weinstein and accusing me of sexual coercion with no evidence has deeply affected you.
Oh, no, I think even before that, the situation was deeply affected us, for better or for worse. And that could be, I mean, I don't necessarily think that that's your fault. I think it's just being in the public eye at such a large scale. But again,
my
Steven, you're like
eyes.
putting a lot of like accusations and words in my mouth, like expanding off of
Dude.
things that I've said, and I don't.
He
This is
literally
if you
just
were to
repeating
poll the
what you're
community,
saying.
99% of people would agree that you've implied all of these things about me.
Yes,
Yes.
if you polled your community after you've been saying that I've said all these things about you, yes, that would absolutely.
That
Even
is a good point,
Max's
though.
community.
Is Max
Max's
putting words
community
in
is
your
not
mouth?
my community.
Yeah, but is Max putting words in your mouth? Because when you have streams with him, he's going to say certain things, and then you'll push back like you did and say, "Oh yeah, no, I don't know if Steven's done this. I don't know if I'd put it that way." But then Max will be like, "Well, maybe he did do those things." And like, then you're like, "Oh, I'm not sure." So like the accusation of like putting words in your mouth, is that not also like, because Max again is using you as like whether like you're star witness in the article or not, he's using you as part of that narrative which he is pushing. Because his abuse thing isn't just, like Destiny sleeps with his orbiters. It's Destiny brings people onto stream, like puts them in a position where his community is going to go after them for content and drama, and then fucking laughs about it.
And I
There are wider-
sadistically get off on it. Like that's
Yeah,
why
like
it's more like
fucking
is there,
wider than just sad.
is
Hold
there
on,
a single
hold on,
example
hold
of me? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I understand This is why I wrote that fucking post where I was like, I wish that we could all just fucking talk.
Dude, I tried to talk to you off stream and you wouldn't engage with me.
Well, no, we tried to talk, and then you said that you were like recording me. That was Steven. That was also the wrong time to talk. Everything was supercharged.
Oh yeah, so I should have waited until after you and Max had already gone down this road of like writing the fucking Harvey Weinstein expose edition on me.
No.
What do you mean? When is the right time to talk?
I don't know. I think I unblocked you like a couple weeks ago. I don't know.
How the fuck am I supposed to know that? I'm not spam adding you to see if I can still message you on fucking Discord.
Yeah, I'm not expecting you to. I'm just saying my personal experience of this has been strange. This whole thing has been.
That's great that it's been strange and fun and exciting and new. But on my end,
fun and exciting and new. It has not been.
Yeah, you're having a real life, and I got backstabbed by 2 people that I trusted. And now you're out here basically assisting somebody in writing a sexual. Well, now he's dropped all of that because he couldn't find anything.
Steven, I'm not assisting anyone. I just gave him our fucking logs. If
why
there's
are you
nothing to worry
like
about,
every single person in the world knows you're lying?
If there's nothing to worry about, then there's nothing to worry about. I don't even know what the fuck is in those logs. I think he's trying to catch you on like lies or something. Like I have no
You
idea.
literally are saying like, don't spoil what's coming up. You literally joked with him about that on the street.
That was a joke.
Well, me saying welcome to the Orbiters Club, that was the most serious induction I've ever done in a pick for stream trade I've ever done.
No, I'm not. I didn't claim that was the
See, this
most
is why he
serious
has
thing
logs.
said. I
They
just
look-
said that
they make it
was-
look really
It's
bad.
enough to muddy the waters a little bit. In the same way where you thought that I was serious, I could have thought that you were serious. Like,
Do you think that aside from Anna, which is a messy fucking smorgasbord of shit, which I admit, aside from Anna, have you seen or do you think there has ever been a person that I've improperly engaged with on stream because of a pre-existing sexual relationship?
to be honest, Steven, I don't really know you that well. I sort of only know.
That's crazy because you
us.
seem to have so much to say about my ex-wife, about every other fucking personal relationship I've been on.
So
We're
this
talking
is,
to
this is
fucking
what I'll say.
Max.
So this is what I'll say. I remember the story that you told about
My ex-wife, the one where she and a coworker were trying to get me fucking fired?
yes, and
You
how
seem to
you
leave out
brought
that
up-
entire
and then
part.
You brought up that you really like toxic relationships, and that was your thing.
Sure, I've joked about that, but when you brought that story up, you literally made it sound like I tried to get somebody
I know
fired
that.
for no
So-
fucking
no,
reason because I'm a fucking psychopath. You seem to
so I know-
conveniently leave out the part where both of them were trying to get me fucking fired for my job.
So I know that part. This
No
is-
accountability,
these are things that I
okay.
told-
Keep going forward.
That part. I know when you told me about what you've told me about your relationship with your wife, and your relationships in general. I know our relationship. I know your relationship with Max, and I know your relationship with Anna. And
Okay,
I
so
gotta,
then the
and I
answer
gotta
is
be
no.
honest, the
Yeah, the
percentage
answer is
rate
no then.
on
Okay.
the percentage on which of those is healthy. Probably little.
Gotcha.
Probably
So
very
you,
little.
so the answer is no. You have literally no reason whatsoever to assume in any way, size, shape, or form that I'm improperly acting with a bunch of, by the way, young girls. You realize Anna is like my age, right? That I'm improperly
What did you
acting
say,
with
young?
young girls on stream. That's Max's claim that you constantly support. So okay,
Steven,
so
no,
I've done
what do you
nothing
mean
wrong for
constantly
you.
support? Steven,
I've done nothing wrong by
I'm
you.
begging
You've admitted that,
Steven,
and I've done
I am
nothing wrong that
begging
you know of. And you've also said that.
Steven,
Okay.
no, I am begging you to stop conflating what Max has said with what I have said.
No, you guys are both two peas in a pod. Of course, you're going to be taken together
No.
through the yes.
She's
whether
not
you
even
like it or
playing
not,
the
you
game
guys
anymore.
are
I have done
there
nothing-
this entire
Steven,
way.
You're wrong. I have done nothing but say that I
Okay.
don't agree with everything that Max has said. That is
No,
every
that's
single
not
time I talk
true.
about it publicly.
No,
That's literally what I
bro,
said.
we just watched you for 3 hours on my stream giggling along and how horrible and abusive and coercive I am. I don't know why you think you can rewrite history. We can see the fucking VOD, dog. We all watched this shit like 3 hours ago.
And you claimed earlier that you thought that this is a good conversation to have, remember, about the power dynamics and everything, but at the same time you're saying now that you just don't know enough about him in his personal life to be able to comment affirmatively on whether or not there's been some kind of abuse of power or sexual
Max
manipulation.
Max seems to think that there has been. And so when I hear from someone close to me that who's writing an article and who's doing a lot of, background on Steven, my first implication is to somewhat believe them.
Also, can I just, for the record, you can tell me that the only reason you and Max are connected is because I rebuilt that bridge after he called you an attention whore pedophile and banned you from his Discord, right?
Do you want that win, Steven? Yes, you were the reason that
Okay.
me and Max.
Yeah, I do want that win. Thank you. Okay, just making sure.
I don't know why you're Like, why? What is that?
Because
what
I
does
think
that
it's
mean?
important to show the difference between how he's treated you versus how I've treated you. And to pretend like I'm the abusive, coercive one here is fucking insane.
It is definitely true that Max has been extremely abusive to me, and we talked about that.
Intentionally abusive. Not
Incredibly
like this
abusive
weird,
to
not this
multiple
weird
people.
roundabout thing that you're accusing me of, but like literally directly called you a pedophile and banned you from his fucking Discord.
You have been directly abusive. I've seen some crazy tweets from you, like, a few years ago of you saying some fucking crazy things.
What does this have to do with you?
Steven, it's not just when you're asking about.
You literally
our
have the F slur
relationship-
tattooed on your fucking lips, and you're gonna tell me about fucking saying crazy shit 5 years
I eat pussy. I eat pussy. I can fucking say the F slur.
Oh my
But
god.
no, I think that when you ask me, when you say, so you admit I've done nothing wrong.
By
With
you.
me,
Oh,
I
man,
think that
what an improvement.
I don't know. I think that I don't know. I don't feel particularly traumatized by any certain action that you have done to me.
But my community made you suicidal.
When I look at your my whole experience with you,
Let's play the smart.
and this is why it's so confusing, is because personally I think our relationship was extremely comfortable, right? I think that personally our relationship was really great, and I really valued it, and this is what I talked to Steven about, and this is what I posted on the Reddit about, is I thought I really valued our
Which made it all the more
individual
fun when you backstabbed me and teamed up with Max to write a fucking Harvey Weinstein hit piece on me, but
I'm sorry that you see it that way. I think that
that's
we
what
both
it is.
felt-
That's reality.
You keep
Okay,
saying
and
that
I
you
acknowledge,
only.
and I acknowledge that you felt that way. I also felt extremely slighted when I thought that you could have done more to protect me and you did not.
And we've already, just to be clear on this conversation, we've already pointed out I explicitly tried to and you rejected my help. But
No, I did not reject your help. In fact, I went on your stream and I cried to you about it, and you were like,
on.
I just don't moderate my Reddit.
okay,
And your whole chat was like,
rewind.
she's ulting, and
Yep.
you were like laughing about it.
I know, that's Max has
So
fed you
I-
that line a lot. So
so
let's
I-
rewind the clock. I literally explicitly asked you if you were okay, and you said you were, when you were getting the most hate. And then you tweeted out antagonistic tweets saying you wanted to be the villain. So I did explicitly check up on you.
I forgot to talk about that. The villain thing. I think when people have already painted this narrative and this picture about you, there's really no way to go but like double down on it. At least that's what I thought at the time. I shouldn't have. That wasn't a healthy display of my feelings, but that's what I did. Shouldn't have done that. I certainly didn't want to be the villain, but I felt like there were kind of limited options for me.
Or you could just, what did I say? Didn't I tell you guys explicitly, like, why not just not engage for a few days and it goes away? That was always an option. And I'm pretty sure I even told you that was an option. That's always been an option.
Yeah, you did tell us about that, and I will be honest, Steven. I think this is the way that things went for us. I was really hurt, and I was going to just. I mean, you were there. You saw the thing with me and Max, where Max was just like, "You don't have to be on Steven's stream anymore," and I was just gonna be like, you know what? I'm probably not gonna go on the stream anymore. I get myself into a lot of.
Oh my god.
And I get myself into a lot of trouble, and I don't
You're
want to deal.
misrepresenting. Bro, I don't know if you think I'm socially retarded. Wait, obviously, you're not talking about like, oh, I'm going to take a break from Steven's stream because it's healthy for me. That was the whole like, I need you to recognize that Steven and his stream are abusers and abusive. You need to separate from that environment to save you. That's what that was about. That wasn't about you just like taking like a week off to like chill.
I need to let you know that I have a brain separate of Max, and although Max can tell me certain things, I still can think for myself. So even when I'm nodding along to what Max is saying, in my brain, I am not mindlessly agreeing with what he is saying. I'm chewing it over and I'm metabolizing it.
You're literally
Even though I'm
making
nodding
you
my head in
chew on
agreement.
stream because he's worried you're going to get in trouble with the thing. He's probably going to shout at you for this stream.
It's not that he's worried that I was gonna get in trouble. It's that if I talk about Brianna Wu, then I have to talk about a whole plethora of other things because of what Brianna Wu brought up, and he knows that I get extremely unregulated when talking about that, and that it just doesn't bode well for me anytime I do it. You told me, you literally did the same exact thing where you were like, you shouldn't talk about this, and he's doing the same thing.
Can you admit about the Hassan thing that I was not blackmailing you or holding that over your head in the slightest? That I was doing that for your... That's an example of me trying to protect you hardcore.
Yeah. I can't admit that it was you trying to protect me, but in that last conversation when you brought up, like, look at the things that I've done for you, or
Yeah, I remember. Yes.
It felt extremely manipulative when you were like, look at the things I've done for you. I told Zerka to not talk about it. I told I've tried
Yeah, because you're accusing me of being a horrible friend. So of course I'm gonna bring up, I don't think I am a horrible friend. Look at these things I've done for you.
I know.
How is that manipulative? I'm trying to make a case for myself.
When you did that, and I was so mad at you. When you did that, I was like, he's gonna, now that we're not friends, he's gonna fucking, it's like literally what you did earlier on stream where you were like, should I tell everyone about Connor? And it's like, I don't know what you're gonna do, Steven. So I thought, hold on. So I said, fuck, I'm just gonna come out with it so he has nothing. I don't know, that's called blackmail.
Lav,
I don't know.
you understand that I have never leaked any personal thing about you until tonight, when I saw you and Max do a 3-hour shit talk session on me, and you have leaked constantly about me. Why would you assume? I don't think at any point in my entire Twitch career have I ever leaked personal info on shit on people that haven't started leaking a lot of shit about me first. I've never done that. You had no reason to think I was gonna leak anything relating to that. And also, you'd already leaked all of it publicly anyway. You talked about it in Judd's Discord. Train and Zerka and who God knows, God else already knew about it. The idea that I'm holding this over you or like trying to manipulate with you, it just doesn't make any sense. I don't even think you believe this. I think you're desperately holding on to this for God knows what reason to try to make me seem fucking.
Oh, I'm crying.
I even said,
Okay, all right, we agree that I wasn't. Okay.
I literally made a Reddit post where I was like, this could have been a big misunderstanding, but at the time, I definitely thought that it was manipulative for him to bring that up, and it scared me, and so I was like, I'm just gonna put
She
it
just
out.
says that to cover her.
Yeah, but I feel like you never actually addressed that on any stream, though. You kind of allowed that narrative to
That's good enough for me.
I've not streamed very often. So
I mean, when you go onto other streams, though, like to talk.
Wait, no. I said it on. I think I said it on Elder Drazi. I'm actually positive that I did.
I don't remember that.
It's impossible.
Well, I don't care. Listen, as long as you said it now, I'm fine with it. I don't care.
True.
All right. Well, is there anything else you guys need me here for?
I think we're good.
Can't think of anything.
Miss Leah Lizard, Femoid, whatever the your name is now.
Yeah. Well, it was crazy to talk to you.
Yeah, it's been real, fam. Okay. I heard that TwitchCon's in Vegas, so you know, if you want to ride down, just let me know, okay, buddy?
Fuck. Sorry, I thought I was muted with that. Fuck.
Like, that's funny, though.
Just be like, oh.
And she didn't laugh because.
Okay, so I don't know.
You said you didn't really know Big
so
Tech, and then that's why, like, when you shared shit, you didn't know how he felt about Destiny. If you didn't really know Big Tech or multiple other people, why are you talking to them about this shit, which is intensely personal?
Well, I talk about, I mean, you asked me sort of a similar question earlier. Why do I have no boundaries with the internet? I'm just kind of a blurter. I don't know. I guess I expect people, I mean, I don't expect the worst in people, I think. Maybe I should.
Okay,
I think I'm probably an optimist by nature.
Right? Like, you
What?
must, I mean, you kind of interacted with Big Tech out of, like, fucking nowhere. Like, Max...
No, me and Big Tech had in-depth conversations where he, like, I was fully bought in that he was, like, a Christian and that he was not really a white nationalist, like, really, but was sort of just, like, trying to, like, herd in, like, the younger kids and make it, like, a more positive space so it didn't look so fucking crazy. I don't know, maybe I was duped by Big...
I'm not going to try and mind read you, but, like, that is wild. Like, as a read on
I don't think so. For someone who knew nothing of Big Tech other than, like, especially when so many people, because we met on a panel where, like, a bunch of people were going at me, and Big Tech was, like, kind of
Defending
fighting
you.
for me
Oh,
and
I
defending
wonder.
me, and then would make sure I was okay afterwards and was like, you know, you're doing good, kid, like, you know, you're on the right path. I was like, I could trust this guy. When I found out that he went to Eden
Yeah,
Realm,
that's
I was
immediately how you trust people.
so f***ing mad. I immediately messaged him and was like, what the f is your problem? I can't believe you've done this. Like, and he was like, sorry, didn't know I couldn't. Just like, I mean, he was a complete asshole about it. I feel so sad and embarrassed that I embarrassed Steven if he felt embarrassed, or, you know, it was locker room talk that became public, and
my
I
God.
feel extremely embarrassed and sorry for that.
Like, it's okay to just have that talk, quote unquote.
And I shouldn't
Nobody
have done it,
has
but if you
those
want to know the
talks.
reason why, I just told you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to mind read you and shit. I'm just, I didn't ask the question well.
One thing
It's a judgment question, yeah.
One thing I would add is that you keep saying that the only thing that you've done with Max is just like share all your logs with Steven to him, but like that's a pretty big deal, right?
Wait, what?
So you keep saying that the only thing you've done with Max in regards to his article on Steven is that you've shared all your logs with him. But
Yeah.
I would say that sharing all of your logs with Steven to Max is like pretty big, right?
Yeah, but if there's nothing in there to worry about, then there's nothing in there to worry about.
I mean, it's still intensely personal, right? It's still like an intensely personal thing that you guys clearly had intimate conversations unrelated to sex, right?
Sure, and yes, but I think that I mean, there are some things in there that are not public and probably will never be, out of me wanting to protect Steven. And I think that, like, when you're sending logs over to someone and they're trying to understand the nuances of a relationship in like a journalistic pursuit, which you guys can believe or not believe, when you export messages, you don't like go over them. I mean, it's months of messages. I'm not gonna go through them first so that I can like X out a couple things. I can tell him what not to put in the article. But yeah, I'm just gonna hand him over. And also, like, I have a personal relationship with Max, obviously close, and he's not going to like put anything in the article that I tell him not to put in the article.
Yeah, so this is what I am hearing here is that like this I don't know, to anybody else it would be super alarming that you would just share all these DMs with somebody after what I was trying to say earlier is that you discounted everything that he did for you out of his friendship to you, and then you leaked all of these logs to somebody who is hell-bent on making an article that's a hit piece on him, right?
I mean, wait, Stardust, Steven has leaked a bunch of articles to his bloodthirsty fans about me.
A bunch of articles?
Or a bunch of DMs, a bunch of our logs without my consent to a bunch of bloodthirsty fans who are obsessed with hating me. Like,
did he do that in
what
response?
What is that? Come on. And then he just and then he comes on and lies about something that he can't substantiate to try to get back at me. A complete fucking lie.
Weren't those leaks though? Wait a minute, guys. Weren't those leaks in response though to something that you had leaked or said?
Maybe, but does that make it ethically okay?
I mean, if you leaked or said something that was incorrect prior, and he only leaked a specific portion to correct the record, I understand
yeah, so that's
it
what
more
Max
than.
is literally doing. That's what Max is literally doing.
There's a huge. Wait a minute.
Steven has made so many claims about our relationship, and now there is someone fact checking that all of it adds up.
There's a huge difference between like leaking like specific things to disprove certain things that have been said versus sending somebody all of your DMs, all of the intensely personal things that you've discussed in DMs to somebody.
Sir, I'm trying to clear my name also. Like, I don't understand, like, you
to
think
somebody who is
the only person who has accusations levied against him. Like, Steven has repeatedly called me a liar when there are probably things that substantiate the opposite.
I think the way that Mr. Girl has treated you has been like far worse than the way Destiny has treated you.
I didn't have a sexual relation. I've never had a sexual relationship with Max.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
matter.
No, that's ridiculous. I don't accept that premise at all, and we can just disagree there.
We can agree to disagree.
Okay, but like again, this whole like document and shit started out of like the back of a non-sexual relationship, right? Like, are you saying, okay, so if it's different, if it doesn't matter, am I missing something? Is it like, do you think, even if Max is dragging up, like going through all the logs and everything else, do you accept that his original reason for doing this shit then, by your own standards, is like a overreaction?
Well, he wasn't gonna write an article about me. He started to write an article after he found out about Anna, thought that what he was doing with Anna was really messy and really egregious. and was going to ask more about that. I think he probably was going to do like a stream with Anna, or something of that sort, like something smaller, right? Just talking about shit like that, and how Steven doesn't really curb like targeted abuse from his fans. It was going to be something very small, and then I think Steven came on and like called him a rapist on stream, and then a bunch of people reached out to Max. And then Max was like, well, there's...
No.
And then Max was like, well... And then Max was like, well...
Played out.
Max put out an open call.
And then Max was like...
Max.
And then, Max did an open call afterwards. There were people who were literally messaging him as the bridge was burning. He did an open call afterwards because he was like, okay, well, if this many people are contacting me right now and these are the people who saw this last stream, how many people are there? How many people are there that Steven has had sexual improprietous relations with?
No, there were multiple people he had reached out to already, and Steven had gotten the download on that that was the way he put it on his stream, right? That he had heard this from people that Max had been going around talking to people he had previously hooked up with, and so that's when Steven went on stream.
Do you have a date for that?
Dropped the whole thing, and then
Do you have a date for that?
I don't remember the exact date.
Because
maybe somebody in my chat.
We're talking about timelines, but like all of us are just going off of like what we've like
All right.
heard.
Chat or DGG, whichever one of you can get it first. Link me the original VOD where he came out and released told his stream about Max going around requesting information from
Or when
his
the
former
first
hookups.
message was when he was
And
going around.
also link the one where he originally says that he thinks Max is a rapist or calls him a rapist. Because I don't remember if that was the same stream. But I remember it as Max had been going around and probing. Because I had heard some of it as well. It was one of those things that had just kind of like, there were a few things going on, right? There was like doobie. They are.
They're saying they're too lazy.
I'm not looking at DGG chat right now. I got it backgrounded. My chat is up, but nobody's got it yet. But yeah, that's what I remember. And I had heard some things as well. Stuff kind of gets around. And then Doobie published, posted his thing about the conversation with Max.
She's just gonna get slammed by facts.
This is the video. It's November 10th is when he went live, and he said this is what Max is doing, that Max has been reaching out to his people he had previously hooked up with. And then Max jumps onto the call to confront him about it. It gets really heated. But yeah. So November 10th is that date. So
this had happened on November 7th. This has all happened November 6th to November, I think, 9th. So this was already after.
So but here's the thing. So that was all private. That was all private, right? Nobody was going public about it.
The 9th was when they went public. The 9th is when he went on Steven's stream and was like, "You've been sexting him the whole time."
Okay, so the video that's published up here is a day after because it's the compilation one, not the VOD. So this is the edited video, so it came out a day later. So yeah, that would have been November 9th. Yeah, so from what had been going on behind the scenes is people have been reaching out to Steven and saying, Max is asking me these weird questions, right? And so then Steven goes live and drops the bomb. Max is digging into his former hookups to ask questions about what the nature of the relationship was. And so it wasn't just about Anna. It was Max going around and asking people. And here's the other thing. Now I'm also remembering, because it's been a while since I've thought about this, but when
Max also believes himself a victim.
When I had the whole conversation with Anna and went over all these details, we found out that on November 7th, your conversation with Anna,
who wears those PJs?
You said that Max had already been reaching out to people. So already by that point at November 7th.
That day.
Yeah, so you had already confirmed that Max had been reaching out to other people to talk about their relationships with Steven. So it wasn't about just Anna. It was a collective thing that he was doing from the beginning there.
No, like I said, it was gonna be like a stream. It wasn't gonna be like an article. It was gonna be like a stream with just Anna, or it was gonna be about like.
Including
was not a
all
fart.
those other hookups.
That was my sweaty leg.
Information on the
Sure.
hookups that he was
Yeah,
looking at, right?
the
So it
patterns.
wasn't just Anna.
Yeah, the pattern. Maybe. Yeah, I don't.
So
I don't.
the
really
reason
know
the reason why I brought that up is because you said that he changed his approach and instead started hitting up all the other people after Steven went live, and called him a rapist, and that
Well,
isn't true.
That's what he had told me.
Well,
I
that's
think
inconsistent. That's inconsistent with the facts here. So,
No,
and
it's true.
and this is something that I dug into in great detail when Anna and I talked, and we went back through all the information, all the logs, and the conversations.
His
So
back bent out
he
too.
had been
Whoa.
planning to hit up all of his, or not all of, but hit up former hookups of his that had been on his stream for a while. Even by the time that you were talking to Anna. So, and that's something that we confirmed. That's solidly confirmed from my VOD and from my highlight that covers the whole thing.
Rock and stone.
So yeah, it's not. He didn't do it as a reaction to what Steven said. It was something he was already
So
planning.
his draw
And
was out.
maybe a Max. I don't know why he would that one up. That doesn't make any sense. Why he would put one up? You'd think
I
he'd
could be getting
have
it
a
wrong.
pretty good
Hold on, I'm
understanding of
looking
his
in our
history.
logs to see. I could be fucking it up. This whole, obviously, like I said, I was detoxing. This whole week was kind of a blur.
It's a good excuse.
Yeah, so I got a confirmation here. Destiny started getting messages from people that Max was asking them all these questions. He told us about this.
Lighting.
Okay, so the
By the way, I'm
7th is
keeping
when-
this anonymous. He told us about this in his Discord room when he wasn't live. Said he was going to go live to address it immediately. This is when Max came on to drop the "You've been sexting Anna" thing. Nobody knew about Max's investigation about this beforehand, except Max and the people he reached out to. And the person telling me this says that they were in the original call with Destiny, and he's talking about it and how he had just found out just before the stream went live. Yeah.
Oh, okay. On the 8th, he said I would like to interview a few women, and if I get enough substantial evidence, witnesses, write an essay about it. This was on 11/08/22.
And so that was not in response to Steven calling him a rapist, and that was not in response to Steven going live and outing him on any of this stuff. That was before that he was planning on doing that.
This is the thing, Max.
And I did a thorough investigation of this as well at the time.
And this is why when Destiny's calling you his star witness, or anyone who's coming forward, or anyone feeding the narrative, it's because and this has been said for months. It doesn't look to anybody that Mr. Girl has gone, yeah, okay, there's a problem here. I need to solve it. I need to go in on it. I need to find the truth. It's, I feel slighted. I'm unhappy with the outcome, and I'm going to over Destiny. I don't care what it takes. And that's part of the problem, because even people
You think
who,
you think that that's Max's motivation?
I
That's what it
absolutely
looks like.
100% think that's his motivation.
Okay,
there
well-
is no question in my mind that what he is doing.
Can I
is
tell you can I tell you what I think as someone who is very close to Max?
Yeah, sure.
I think that Max really loved Steven. I think that Max probably still loves Steven. I think that when we and Max get together, we talk about how we miss Steven. And
They do not.
How he
Steven just talked about that.
was a good friend to us when he wanted to be, and how he was charismatic and smart and funny.
When he wanted to be. Seems like he was.
And then there's
when
this
you wanted
evil
to
other
be.
thing, and that we had dual relationships with him that were really taxing. And whereas we wanted to acknowledge the dual relationships, Steven didn't do a great job of acknowledging the dual relationship that we had in the streaming world. And then also, so automatically there's that pain that Max has, right?
Better than flying.
And then Max finds out because I told him that Anna and Steven had been sexting
So she
during
did leak it right there.
during everything, and he found
She
that
couldn't answer
really
that
disgusting and abusive,
when
and I think that
Destiny
Max
was there.
is a martyr. I think that he deeply cares about people, and
Does he?
No.
Sorry, go on. I'm sniping. Go on.
he absolutely does. I mean the things that. Yes, he absolutely.
He cares
does.
about
I mean,
children.
I like
The martyr
my
part is-
bias. I'm pretty open about it. It's fine, but like
The martyr
yeah.
part's undeniable. I think you have
Yeah,
to
I'm gonna-
recognize he shoots himself in the foot, and whether it's not it's for other people or it's for like an idea that he's convinced of, like he martyrs himself for.
It's the thing with Dr. K. He obviously has a firm belief, and he wants to show
And what
people
did
his
and what
world.
did he say? And what did he say with the Dr. K show when people asked if the ethic board comes back and says there is nothing, what will you do? And he said, I'd take it further. Because like he's got this narrative in his head, and that's part of the problem with having this conversation. It doesn't matter what the evidence says. Max has made up his mind. Now, like, look, okay, fine. Maybe if you want to say that I'm being too uncharitable, and that Max truly believes there's something, it's not malicious or whatever, he's upset, whatever. It doesn't matter, because it seems to me, and it seems to a lot of people, that whatever the outcome of this, however the article's received, whatever evidence is there, whether people think it's strong, weak, whatever, the narrative in his head that he puts up will continue. And that is a problem when we are talking about things that like potentially quite damaging to a person's like not just reputation but the view of themselves and how other people are going to react to them, their friendships and everything else.
That's
you are
sick.
sat here through this saying, I don't know whether Destiny was abusive to me. You should have a strong opinion on how you
getting
feel
it.
about that. It should not be up to Max to frame it, whether you think people frame or whatever. but it
No,
shouldn't be up to-
I do not have to have a strong opinion on the way that I felt in a situation. I have no idea what the fuck was going on. Like I said, I was trying to detox off of benzos for
How long
probably
has she been detoxing?
a month or 2 months at this point. It's really fuddled. I had my own personal problems in my life outside of streaming. Like, my relationship again was confusing with Steven because we had a dual relationship. I don't have to feel any certain way. People can frame how they want to frame it with the evidence all they want. If someone wants to read all of our logs and write a hit piece on Max, I don't know. If someone asked for all of my logs with Max, I would send them. Like, I think that Max would be supportive of that. And it's sort of just like up for debate. I think that these conversations are important to have.
Well, but the problem is when you bring it up with people's names, it then it takes on the guise of allegations, and then that other person obviously is going to want to defend themselves.
Sure,
and
everything
things
is
can
really
get pretty
loaded.
aggressive.
Everything is really loaded in this community. Because
Well,
our
it's not even
jobs-
that. I mean, that's just in general. In public, you start talking about somebody and you start dropping names, that it's going to get back to that person and they're going to want to defend their own image, and right? That's something you can't avoid. That's why I was saying before, if you want to talk about the issues, that's great. Leave the names out, talk about the issues, and then you can actually have a fruitful conversation about those issues, which true, they are important issues to talk about, but as soon as you start dropping names of public figures into it, those public figures have an obligation to push back on what you say and defend
that's how we
themselves.
start the law.
Even if you were totally correct in your assumption about them or your statements on them, they still, as a person who has a reputation in the space, are going to feel obligated to push back on that. And if you keep kind of being vague about it after that and evasive when they push back on it, they're going to get really pissed off and they're going to start getting aggressive.
Yeah, and again, I would say, you know, like, you have to also acknowledge
AFK
not
for a
only
bit.
not only is it that you know, that they have an obligation and the right actually to push back on a way that they're being characterized, but also, again, this is a violation of something intensely personal, right? Logs that are being leaked, accusations of somebody's behavior when they've been when they actually did go out of their way to do things that they normally wouldn't do for other people, right? You know, a discounting of every effort that somebody made in a friendship, right? That, like, it's not just the reputation. It's a mischaracterization of the friendship, a mischaracterization of them as a person, and how much they did in that friendship. So.
Oh, it's over. They always like end in the middle of a conversation, but yeah, I hate that bitch, dude. Whatever, dude. She hasn't learned anything.